Become one with nature. It's all about the sensation. Pure adrenaline rush. Subliminal surfing experience. Enjoy every thrilling second. The truest sense of freedom. Unforgettable moments in and out of the water. Sharing unlimited passion. Forging lasting friendships. Good times. Good company. Living it up into the night. Cooling off after a splendid day of surfing. Vibrant, colorful nightlife. The ultimate surfer's paradise. Wonderful Indonesia.
Voice of Indonesia, the overseas service of Radio Republic Indonesia, broadcast in 9 language services: English, French, German, Dutch, Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, Japanese, and Indonesian. Voice of Indonesia is broadcast by shortwave 3325 kHz and 4755 kHz and via streaming on voanews.id and RRI Digital on mobile application. We present various programs for you: Diplomatic Forum, The Session, Indonesian Wonder, Miscellany, Let's Speak Bahasa Indonesia, Indonesian pop and regional songs, international musical entertainment, as well as news and information about Indonesia and abroad. Voice of Indonesia, from Indonesia to the world.
Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world. VOA listeners and viewers, today in VOA Talk, we are turning our spotlight to Central Africa, a region full of rising potential for Indonesia's global partnership. And we are highlighting the growing trade ties between Indonesia and Central Africa. To talk more about this, we are deeply honored to be joined today by the Indonesian ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Pak Agung Cahaya Sumirat. Good afternoon from Jakarta, Indonesia, Pak Agung. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Bu Rahma, and good morning, Cameroon time.
Okay. So,
nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Pak Agung. So, how is Cameroon today?
It's Cameroon is awesome. The weather is cool and so much, refreshing here.
Okay, just like here in Jakarta, the school holiday can be felt so clearly here and supported by good weather as well, neither sunny nor rainy. A very perfect day for these insightful talks about a diplomatic mission in Central Africa. So, Pak Agung, in December 2023, Indonesia officially opened its first ever diplomatic mission in Central Africa, covering 6 countries. Since you took office on July 1st, 2025, how do you see the economic potential of this region, which may not have been fully explored by Indonesia before?
Yeah, thank you, Bu Rahma. Allow me to highlight several points with regard to the economic potential, not only in Cameroon, but also in 5 other countries in Central Africa, which is Republic of Central Africa, Chad, Republic of Congo, Gabon, and Equatorial Guinea. Because this is all the 6 countries are falling within the mandate of the Indonesian embassy, which is in resident in Yaoundé, Cameroon. So the data actually shows that, in terms of bilateral economic relation between Indonesia and Cameroon itself, last year we imported around 64 million US dollar. We export 64 million US dollar and we imported 107 million US dollar. In terms of balance of trade, I think we are in a deficit position. We imported quite a lot of cacao, you see. Maybe, the cafe industry is very much blossoming in Indonesia. And my positive guess is we need a lot more of cacao. But overall, in Central Africa, the potential is so big, you see, especially in agriculture, fishery sector. This is basically potential that is still untapped. As you see, more than 80% of manufactured product of Cameroon and, in general, countries in Central Africa is very much relying on import, foreign importation. So meaning that this is a lot of potential for our industry, our agriculture technology, to make a partnership with Cameroon and other Central African countries, including in farming sector. They have a commitment. I have presented my credential to the president of Gabon and Equatorial Guinea, and also I have met also the high-ranking official of Cameroon. All of them express their strong willingness to collaborate with Indonesia. They say that Indonesia is a very good model from them to follow the path of their development under the spirit of South-South cooperation. This is a great political investment that we have tested for so many years. And here, my strategy is to send the message through collaboration by showing case that Indonesia is a trusted partner, is a credible partner to work together with Central African countries. Not to mention in energy sector. We imported a lot of oil especially from Gabon and Equatorial Guinea. This is something that we need to underline, because we know that energy access is becoming crucial for our future.
Okay, so many potentials that can we explore then. And another interesting highlight and collaboration between Central African, Cameroonian businessmen with the Indonesians are organizing their own business trips to Indonesia. Could you share with us about these initiatives and what drives their high enthusiasm to do business with Indonesia?
Yes, Burama, I think, since the establishment of this Indonesian embassy in residence in Yaoundé in December 2023, I think we are in a positive trend. After a series of engagement and doing a lot of networking, especially with business sector in Cameroon, finally they opened their mind that Indonesia is a great country. Indonesia is a big potential partner for them. They themselves organized the event. The Indonesian embassy facilitated the contact in Jakarta. They told us that after doing some research, they just knew that Indonesia is very much advanced in terms of agricultural technology, in terms of high level of technology, and also the sense of creativity, particularly by the young generation. And they know very much about the mobile application like Tokopedia, like what else? Traveloka and Bukalapak. This is the technology that they don't have in Cameroon. So that's why we really want to do more educative effort to open the mind of the business sector. And thanks to the technology of telecommunication, the Cameroon business person is easily connected with the Indonesian business partner, and occasionally the Indonesian embassy doing Zoom meeting, with between Cameroon business circles and the Indonesian side also. So this is a kind of very practical, very productive gathering. And for your information, at least once per week, this embassy always receive a business inquiry and a business delegation from Cameroon to ask about, to share, and we do a lot of discussion about business potential in Indonesia.
So, including in the digitalization, Indonesia can also collaborate. What about the progress in this sector?
Yeah, for your information, this week a group of Indonesian business person coming to Cameroon, and we try to organize some business gathering with the local business person. And these Indonesian business persons is very much, they have the strength in agriculture technology, something that the Cameroon business really needs. If you have looked at the Indonesian business process now, we are also very much trying to sharpen our strategy on the downstreaming of our business, or hilirisasi. Basically, in Cameroon, also want to replicate what the Indonesian is doing in the strategy of hilirisasi. So basically, the strategy match, and that's why this open door for the business connection more of, particularly from the Indonesian side, to share the technology of agriculture, and then of course this must be built on win-win situation. See, and I hope that if there are more Indonesian business footprint in Cameroon, so we could produce more economic benefits for both countries.
Okay, so entrepreneurs, businessmen, delegations from the two countries have met. Then how will the embassy practically facilitate and bridge these connections to ensure they do not just stop at meetings, but actually turn into real business deals in a sustainable way?
Yeah. So thankfully, annually in Indonesia, we have our biggest trade expo, which is called the Indonesian Trade Expo. Yeah. And in many occasions, in almost all occasions in Cameroon and other Central African countries, we always promote the Trade Expo of Indonesia. So we don't only focus on the big city. For instance, in January of this year, the delegation of Indonesian embassy visited the northern part of Cameroon, which is so, the weather is very hot, exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. We visited the farming sector, also the agriculture sector, and meeting directly with the business owner, and we try to promote this trade expo of Indonesia. I'm very much positive that through sustained effort, by engaging continuously with the business sector of Cameroon, I believe we will do better and better. For instance, last year alone, for the Trade Expo, the level of participation of business from Cameroon and other Central African countries are exceeded, I think it was more than 30 business persons. And I'm very positive that this year, I hope that more than 50 business persons from Central African country will be visiting Indonesia. Because I always use this keyword, Bu Rahma. Seeing is believing. See? In our word, tak kenal maka tak sayang. How can you love if we don't know each other? Something like that. This is my strategy.
Okay. And then what's the embassy's trade breakthrough that the embassy aiming to achieve in this year's Trade Expo Indonesia?
Yes. For instance, last year, we managed to secure a business deal of almost 20 million US dollar for the last year. And I am aiming for this year, I will try my best to secure a business deal of at least 30 million US dollar. So I hope this is a true testament about the seriousness of business processes between Indonesia and Cameroon particularly. See, and before the Trade Expo, actually, we have participated in series of business gathering in Cameroon. For instance, in early September, we have planned to do a kind of business gathering in Douala. Douala is the biggest city in Cameroon. Actually, our embassy is in Yaoundé, the capital city, but the biggest city is actually in Douala. And in Douala, it's really the very center of the biggest center for economic process in Cameroon. So we hope to reach out to the big businessmen of Cameroon at the early of September. So when the we are expecting that more of them joining the Indonesian Trade Expo in October. This is, you see, our plan that is really ongoing right now.
Okay, then hope for more successful Trade Expo Indonesia. But now from economic diplomacy, we talk about citizen protection, which is also your top priority. There are over 1,000 Indonesian citizens working in the logging sector deep in the forests of Congo and Gabon, as well as the fishing sector in Gabon. So given their remote and challenging location, what is the embassy strategy to monitor and protect their rights, Pak Agung?
Yeah. Okay, Bu Ratna, Bu Rahma, I admit that this is, it's quite challenging for us to deal with this issue because of those Indonesians actually are living not in Cameroon. See, many of them living particularly in Gabon, yeah, and part of them living in Republic of Congo. Most of them are working in timber industry, in a forest sector. So this is quite far away from the cities, both in Gabon and in Republic of Congo. So our strategy is, first, we have honorary consul in Libreville, Gabon. Yeah, his name is Mr. Zhang Bele. He has been very helpful and cooperative to us. This is our our big asset in Gabon. And then secondly, we try to do what we call warung consular. So on a regular basis, we send the Indonesian team in Gabon and in Republic of Congo particularly to monitor our worker situation in both countries. And through these activities, we manage and we gather information about their well-being. Yeah, if we have a complaint, if we have a problem, then we identify the problem and we try to communicate this to the local and the central authorities, both in Republic Congo and in Gabon. And thirdly, we try to make a good cooperation and communication with the employers, both in Republic Congo and in Gabon. We try to reach out to the factories occasionally also, and to try to have a discussion with them. And sometimes we do also Zoom meeting. This is another strategy of us to do our monitoring system. And I think the fourth part is also we have to communicate with the kind of leaders of Indonesian citizens in those areas. Yeah, normally they have kind of the Indonesian citizen informal association, something that like that, and we try to communicate with the local leaders of Indonesian there. And fifthly, we also try to update the central government in Jakarta, not only the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but also the coordinating Minister of Social Welfare, and also the the government agency on the migrant employment. So we need to engage. We have done so to engage those ministry to update about the status and to ask for policy backup and policy recommendation.
Okay, so it's all about integrated communication and cooperation to support our citizens. And in the future, Pak Agung, what kind of bilateral relationship or closer ties do you most want to build between Indonesia and Central African nations?
Yeah, allow me to highlight several points to respond to your question, Bu Rahma. First, Africa is actually the global future. See, the economic centrality of the world now is really on Asia, particularly driven by the growth in China, Japan, South Korea, India, and Southeast Asian countries. Yeah, this is a fact. But in the future, the world needs more resources from Africa. This is a fact in terms of energy access, not only in oil and gas, but also in critical minerals. Yeah, to sustain our industry, in whatever industry, in EV industry and in many things. Yeah. So secondly, we need to make a presence, the Indonesian presence, stronger in Africa. Why? Because other countries have done much more in advance. For instance, the China. If you remember, if you recall about the Indonesian, the Asian African Conference in Bandung in 1955, right? We initiated and we convened this event in Bandung. But remember, in early 1960s, high-level meeting between Cameroon and Chinese political officer, high-ranking leaders have been done so intensively. And the China government has established embassy in Cameroon since 1971. So this is a kind of time gap that we have to admit that there is a kind of time gap between what China has done and what we just did. But most importantly, we need to develop more strategy for our future. The fact that we are here already, and allow me to underline that Indonesian embassy is the only ASEAN embassy in Central Africa. That's why I need to engage not only with the Indonesian based on ASEAN Charter, I have to deal with other citizen of ASEAN countries, the Philippines, the Vietnamese also, and some Malaysian also. So I'm not talking about only for the benefit of Indonesia, but also for the whole ASEAN countries. And thirdly, I really want to promote in both ways. For the Central Africa, I try to promote Indonesian again as a trusted and beneficial and sustainable partner for their future. And for the Indonesian side, I want to promote the great business potential that Central African countries has. It's better to invest now rather than being too late for our future, because we need to have more lucrative business cooperation with African countries, since we know that Africa will be more important for our future. Thank you.
Oh, Pak Agung, thank you so much for your valuable insights. And we have got so much new knowledge about Central Africa, especially Cameroon. And hopefully we can have more special occasion to talk various sectors between Cameroon, Central Africa, and Indonesia to explore more between the two countries. So thank you so much for joining us today, and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, Bu Rahma. All the best to you.
You're welcome. All the best to you too. Well, VOA listeners and viewers, that's today's VOA Talk with the Indonesian Ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Pak Agung Cahaya Sumirat. Stay tuned for more inspiring, insightful talks on VOA Talks from Voice of Indonesia, from Indonesia to the world.
RRI Digital with New Look. Various collaborative content from various national programs, including live visual broadcasts, live radio broadcasts, music playlists, podcasts, video